Hi guys. Okay, I'm here and I'm going to share a dream that my daughter had in the 14th of June 2020. I just never got to share it yet, so I just think we're coming into to this season, so I really want to share this dream. I think it's a dream, excuse me, that kind of reveals what's going on in the spirit realm. Um, so I will just jump into it, right, and explain as I go. Um, so Rachel described that she was in a grey room, and she said it looked like a detective's interview room. It had a table and chair in the middle and a light that hung down, one that swings over the chair, right? So behind the chair is a mirror, and it's a standard interrogation room kind of layout, like you'd see, one of those interrogation rooms in the police station. So to the right of the mirror, the glass was split and the room was, and sorry, to the right of the mirror, the glass was split and was fractured. So there was cracks on the mirror. There was fractured cracks on the mirror, right? So they were fractured into different views. And she said that what she began to see was like she could see different dimensions within those cracks in the mirror, right? So this room, she said that this room was not representing the world, it was representing rather like a neutral spiritual plane, right? So maybe we could consider it maybe the second heaven or something, even though she didn't know the terminologies. So perhaps that's what it is, but it's a neutral spiritual plane between, she said, universes and dimensions, right? So the fracture closest to the mirror was black. The fracture closest was black, right? And it was filled with darkness. And from that darkness came a spirit into the room that was aggressive, tormented, and agitated. Now, as I'm reading this here, I didn't really realize this before, but it sounds like it could be the Antichrist or the Antichrist system. It could be, I don't know. It sounds like it though. So this spirit could not be seen. It was not a physical being, but its presence was very obviously in the room. It could be the first, just thinking in Revelation 6, it could be like the first horseman. That's what it could be as well. Because it was the first horseman would represent an entity, spiritual entity that brings in the rest of the horsemen, right? So there were other fractures that had other worlds, other dimensions, or universes. As you moved further right on the mirror, there was another crack, like where the door would be of the room. And from there, sorry, hold on now. Okay. And in that particular crack on the right was the heavens. And she could see into where the heavens are, right? And they were preparing for a battle, and they were coming towards this fracture, like they were coming towards this room. And so they were coming, these were beings that were not physical. You couldn't feel this fight. So between that, sorry, now this is a bit confusing. Okay, so there was the darkness, that dark spirit that was coming through the darkness of that, the fracture of darkness, and this dark being came in, and then you had the being that came in through the heavens. Now, she didn't say whether this being was Jesus or whether it was, an angel like the Archangel Michael or something, but they were very high up within their heavenly ranks, these two beings that came into this neutral plane, right? It was like a right-hand man to God, is what she said. And the other heavenly beings were also on their way coming towards them, but were still not there. So this fight began to take place within this room. This fight between these two angelic beings. They started to fight in this room. The room, okay, it says in neutral territory. So everything was sensed in the spirit realm. She said you couldn't. She said you couldn't physically see them, but you could feel what was going on. You could feel this warfare that was going on between these two heavenly beings were in battle together. So I just thought that was very interesting. Now the being could be Jesus Christ. I don't know. She wasn't sure what the being was. But I immediately thought of Revelations chapter 12 when I heard when I listened to that dream, right? So because it talks about the dragon, and it says about the dragon, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and he cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. So that was Jesus Christ, right? And the woman fled into the wilderness. Now the woman, I believe, is the church, or the Holy Spirit, really, or those who are filled with the Holy Spirit. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,200 days. So it's like 3.5 years. So that's very connected with the time of tribulation. Okay, that really severe tribulation period is the last 3.5 years of the 7 years, right, of the Antichrist rule. So so the woman fled into the wilderness. And there was war in heaven. Michael, okay, we have Michael here, and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought, and his angels, and prevailed not, and neither was a place found any more in heaven. So this is what struck me here. And the great dragon was cast out, and that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Okay, I'm going to jump down here. And it says, okay, so then it says that the dragon had come, sorry. I'll just read verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Now I believe that's got to be the Antichrist that's coming down, because if we read in Revelation chapter 6, it says that he goes after the children of God and he slaughters so many of them. He slaughters so many of them. I think it's the seventh seal. You know, that the so many saints are slaughtered, right? So I believe this is connected to that, right? It's connected. Let me see. Now, and when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, okay, persecute the woman. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And again, I'll be 3.5 years again, right? So that the Lord was given protection. I think the Lord has given her protection, bringing her into the wilderness for a time, right? So God is hiding his church. He's hiding out his church for a period of time. And the serpent cast out of his mouth waters of flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Now it's interesting there, because this flood of wicked ungodliness that's going to come out of the New World Order could well be the flood, you know. But anyway, even if it isn't, there's a flood that the dragon was pouring out. And God assisted his church. He assisted the woman. So it said that the earth helped the woman. So God was using the earth to help the woman, right? And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keeps the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So guys, there's a lot in that. Wow, that chapter is amazing. But I really felt that was connected with Rachel's dream. I felt it was connected that there's warfare in the heavens, that Satan's being cast out. Michael and his angels were fighting against the devil, and that the devil is pouring out his wrath against the church. Persecution is certainly coming. We see this flood of deception, of wickedness, of ungodliness. It's starting with the VAXs. And, you know, it's just going to, like the Lord showed me, that's the beginning of the deception, which was shocking to me. It was like, what? This is the beginning of it, you know? This is the beginning of the deception. This deception is going to get worse and worse. It's going to increase and increase. And I've had a few words in my last couple of videos now. I've never really before spoken anything about aliens or alien invasions or spaceships, but I'm telling you, recently the Lord has been speaking to me about this stuff. I believe there's going to be a massive alien deception. Now my daughter had another dream about that. It was very interesting. You can have a look at it. The video has, actually I'll link it, okay, I'll link it. It has a spaceship anyway on it. But yeah, so there's alien deception coming. Yeah, and the other thing that shocked me was when the Lord began to speak to me about this is that people are going to believe it. Mass deception on this level, which is just absolutely crazy to me. But anyway, but that's coming as well. Anyway, so there you go. If you have any comments or want to enter in discussion regarding it, please do so. I'll leave my email as per usual. And otherwise, God bless you all. I have another couple of videos that I'll pop up as well. God bless. Bye.